So there's also what we call the type conversion. And when we say type conversion, it's just about when we're doing some mathematical operation, how do we handle the actual value? So let's say we have two numbers, two different data types. So one integer, one float. If we multiply one integer by one float, so let's say we have the 2 times maybe 4.0. What do you think the value will be? So in Python, when we talk about type conversion, anytime you have different numbers or numbers of different data types, we're looking at maintaining the float. So the answer should be a float. So it's going to be 8.0. And basically that's what type conversion is. So when you convert, automatically the integer to a float, where you do the conversion, is going to become a float. Also, you can also convert an integer, so a float, into an integer. So let's see examples of what I'm discussing. So now let's have a look at the same values, but this time around we're going to change one to a float, and we do the operation for division. So when we do the operation for division, it's still giving us, oh, well, technically it's going to give us that because this is division, but let's do multiplication then. Yeah, so multiplication, and maybe say mult. So yeah, it's going to give us a float. So with type conversion, what we're saying is you have a float and you have an integer, or you, at least if there's one float, any arithmetic operation you do becomes a float. The answer will be a float. And so that is how this works. But let's say we want to have or convert the float into an integer. You do typecasting. So you could say int, and then you wrap it around the value, because maybe you always want the value to be, say, let's say, let me put this here. Value after conversion. All right. So let's say we want to maintain the integer value. So you could have something like this. So it's going to say the value after conversion is 260. The first one was just 260.0. Now, the reason why we had 260 was the fact that we were converting the value into an integer. And so that's what's happening.